Welcome to Dateline Schools, a presentation of St. Clair County RESA, with your host, Chris Troy.
The holidays are on their way, and while things can get pretty hectic, it's important to take time each and every day to read with your little ones. And one program that makes that a bit easier is the Imagination Library. And to help us learn more about it is my special guest from St. Clair County RESA's Early Childhood Services, Riley Alley. Riley, thanks a lot for joining us this week.
Thanks for having me.
So we're talking about the Imagination Library. That sounds like an amazing thing. With holidays coming up, imagination. Tell me all about that.
Awesome. It is a great program that we have here in St. Clair County. So Dolly Parton started it in her hometown of Tennessee, really as an opportunity to give children the gift of literacy. So she noticed that children need books in the homes, and this was a way for her to gift books to them. And then it was such a success, she opened it up to any community that wants to have it and is able to fund it. So St. Clair County brought the program here in 2012, and now every child under the age of 5 can be mailed a book each month until they turn 5.
Now, how does that work? Who sponsors these books? Or how does a child get a book? Is it through their parents, their grandparents? How do they get signed up to this program?
So St. Clair County RESA is who really is running this program. They can register through greatstartstclair.org. But the funding comes locally. It comes from St. Clair County RESA and United Way of St. Clair County. And we are funding the books for children who reside here in St. Clair County. So if they live with the grandparent can sign them up. If they're living with the parent is who signs it up. So it's whoever and wherever that child is living within St. Clair County.
So Riley, with the holidays coming up, this may be a good time to be like the perfect gift almost, isn't it? How can someone get a hold of you to find out more about how they can register their child?
So to register their children, they can go to greatstartstclair.org and find the Imagination Library program and register right online. There is also registration forms throughout the community at different organizations and our partners. But it's real simple. They can just fill it out, send it to us, and we get the book started. It does take 8 to 10 weeks for that first book to arrive, but that'll be coming January, February. You'll get that first book, and it'll be exciting, so you can tell the kids about it at Christmas. Another way to give back is to actually donate to the program. So if you've been receiving these books for a while and you've really appreciated the fact that it's a free program, there is no eligibility, you just have to live in St. Clair County, and you want to give back, you can make those donations to our endowment fund through the St. Clair County Community Foundation.
Now, that's pretty amazing because it is a free program. So I would imagine maybe parents who had a little one use it, maybe they've gotten older now and they're no longer using the program. It's a chance for them to give back, isn't it? To kind of almost say, thank you for raising my kid with literature.
It is. And we know how families are. Typically, when you have younger children, you're just getting started in your career. You're just getting financially stable. So maybe that was not the time to give back when you were getting the books. But later on, you are now stable in your career. You're ready to give back. You're ready to be part of it. And you want to do it as an appreciation of what happened when your kids were little. Yes, that's a great opportunity.
So tell me about these books. Like, what are they? What are kind of the age groups? And what kind of exciting, adventures are out there in these books?
So the fun part about these books is they are picked based on the children's ages. So there is a panel of experts that are picking the books. They're very developmentally appropriate. And what's fun is they're titles that you might not ever recognize or see out in the store and pick on your own. I know some of the books I've never heard of, and they ended up being my children's favorite books.
It's the holiday season coming up, and in many houses, I'm sure you'll hear, "'Twas the night before Christmas," and all through the house. Riley, reading to kids over this Christmas break when maybe they're not in school and keeping them reading is a really important thing, isn't it?
It is. It helps in so many levels and really keeping that routine of reading. Sometimes, we are really good about it right before bed. We're getting ready for school the next day. So we sit down and we have that book time and we kind of go through it every night. Then the holiday break comes and now the kids aren't in school, or maybe more kids are home, the siblings are home, and so that kind of throws you off on your routine. But it's so important to keep our kids on a routine during these breaks. It helps with their stress, it helps with their emotions, it helps with the chaos at home. And so keeping that reading every night, or giving them extra opportunities to sit down and you read with them on the couch when things just get a little bit too overwhelming. This is when all those books are important, to sit down and do that.
Now, it almost doesn't have to be books either. I mean, if you're with your child in the store and you're waiting in line, you could almost point to an item and say, what do you think that says? Or maybe help them through that way, couldn't you?
I love that you brought that up because it is. It's literacy is everywhere and anywhere. And my favorite example is it doesn't always have to be a book like you're saying. You don't have to read from cover to cover. You don't have to actually have the book in your hands. But telling those stories, talking with your children, those are just as important as opening a book and reading the words that are inside.
Riley, with holiday break being a week or so longer, and your little ones are used to having certain reading times, how often should they read to them, or how often should they look at the same time to keep them on a schedule? What's kind of the mode of operation?
So there's lots of different answers to that, and it's really more about the quality of time that you're spending with your child. So when you can find that time to set aside to spend the time reading is what's going to be most important for your family. Keeping those routines is wonderful, but we don't have to get up and get to work, or we don't have to get up and get to school. So maybe you get up and you just spend some time on the couch with a book instead of turning on the TV, or instead of giving them the extra screen time. Really being conscious about the fact that on a regular basis when they're at school or in daycare, they're not getting the screens. So what can we do? Turn that off and read the book instead.
And maybe a time where things have calmed down a little bit, where there's less distractions?
Yes, or anytime you notice your child is getting a little bit too overwhelmed with everything that's happening, you might be in the middle of a holiday party this winter, and you might just need to pull them aside because they're starting to maybe have a meltdown or be a little emotional. Pull them aside, put them on your lap, read a book. In the middle of the party, you will notice their stress level goes down. They start to calm down, and they can kind of reset their bodies and be able to go back to the party.
Riley, we talked about the imagination library that parents and grandparents can sign up their children for. But that takes a few weeks for books to arrive. What if parents or grandparents want reading under the tree? Where can parents find out information about titles of books that would fit their child?
So it's really fun to start looking for those titles and finding what are some new books to get or what are some of those good things. Google is your best friend. Is just Googling by age. There are so many blogs out there with great titles, great information. But at the end of the day, truthfully, it is what is going to engage your child. So you have to know, what does your child enjoy? If they enjoy trucks, find the books that are about trucks. Even if those books seem like maybe they are maybe a little bit older for the child or not quite at their level, children can understand and comprehend a book that is higher than their reading level. So you can always be getting books that are a little bit older. And then maybe if it is a little older, you're not reading the entire book cover to cover, maybe you're just looking at the pictures and telling them about the story. Maybe you're looking at it different ways, or maybe you're breaking it up and you're just reading a couple of pages, put a bookmark in, and you'll finish it later. And they love that just as much because they look forward to reading later on.
So I'm guessing picture books, that really helps out because a parent can describe by looking at the picture what's being said in the text.
Absolutely. And then you can flip it. So when you have those 2, 3, 4, 5-year-olds who aren't quite reading yet, but they're starting to get engaged with the picture, let them read the story to you. They do not have to read the words word for word to be able to tell the story, but they can tell you what's happening in the picture, and those are the first steps in reading.
So Riley, Imagination Library, a great program, finding the proper age books for your children, make great Christmas gifts. But really just spending time with your child one-on-one with a book is probably one of the best gifts you can give, isn't it?
It is. And again, when we go back to behaviors and our children's emotions and their stress levels, the holiday season is hard. We change routines. We are overbooked. There's the excitement of the holidays coming. There's excitement of presents. There's the excitement of parties and seeing all these people. The kids are seeing family members they haven't seen before, so now they're nervous. And it's just, you are their safe spot. Whether it's you as the parent, whether it's you as the grandparent, you are who are safe to them. And to sit down with a book on your lap is where they're going to be able to lower their stress and feel comfortable again.
So Riley, for those who may have missed the earlier programs this week, we talked about the Imagination Library and registering to get your child or your grandchild a book every month. Can you kind of refresh everyone's memory on how they can go ahead and do that?
Yes, they can all register through greatstartstclair.org or right on Dolly Parton's Imagination Library website, which is imaginationlibrary.com. And it's Available in St. Clair County for children who are residing in St. Clair County, whether they live with the grandparent, if they live with an aunt, or even our foster children. Any child that resides in St. Clair County can register. It is free, and it's available to children under the age of 5. They get mailed a free book every month until their 5th birthday.
And if you want to contribute to this program, maybe you had children and no longer have them, they're kind of through the program, and you want to say thanks, where can you make your donations to?
The donations can go to our endowment fund through the Community Foundation of St. Clair County. And it's a great way to, whether you give back to the program now because your children are in it, you give back because your children were in it in the past and now you are able to give back, or maybe it's a grandparent. We have now gotten into a culture where I know personally that my kids just don't need any more things. So for Christmas gifts, it can sometimes be difficult to come up with something. And so a donation to this program in the child's name, giving the gift of literacy to kids throughout our community by giving to Imagination Library.
Well, the holidays are all about making memories, and sitting down, reading with your child certainly makes amazing memories. Riley, I want to thank you for being with us this week, and have a great holiday, and we'll see you the first of the year. For Dateline Schools, I'm Chris Troy. Dateline Schools is a presentation of St. Clair County RESA.